Okay. So my name is Bo Gorseski, and I am a digital integration specialist at Horry County Schools. And I'm going to show you how to use Autocrat with Google Forms today. And this could be a nice way that you can get feedback to your teachers when you do walkthroughs. And I'm going to take myself out of the screen here. Now I'm going to go to Screen Share, and I'm going to start to give you a play-by-play recording of the session. So first thing we do is you make up a highly detailed Google form, and this was a form that I worked with one of my coaches at my school, and we put some specific things on there. Probably the most important thing you want to have on there is the teacher's email address. And we're going to do that because when the form is done, it's going to automatically email a highly detailed feedback sheet to that teacher. And you can do that by probably just going to your website or your directory, and you probably have a whole collection of all their emails. You want to put that into your form. And this originally motivated me because when I was in the classroom, I never really knew if I was doing a great job or not, because the principal would come in and stuff would happen, and then I would look at my mailbox and I would get a little sticky note with a smiley face on it. Great job. And I needed more direct feedback than that. So I worked with my coach, my principal at the time. We made it up. But what happened is I did it on my Google Drive, so I ended up getting all the responses to my computer, and all the teachers got responses that made it look like I was the one doing the walkthrough and evaluating them. So if you want to do this, I make sure that if you are the coach or the AP, you set this up on your computer. If you are a technology specialist like myself, just make sure you sit next to that person and guide them through, or you could just play them the video that I'm working on right now. So hopefully, since I'm broadcasting live on YouTube right now, we won't have any internet issues, but here's the form. And this is a copy of one that I made up. And we have some questions on here. You know, I made the drop-down list of all the emails, and I had some questions set up. And what I would try to recommend is the more times that you can have questions that are multiple choice or check boxes, like these are here, the better your data is going to look like in your Google form. Because when you're all done, you're going to get that summary of responses. And if you're doing a lot of anecdotal data where you're typing a lot of stuff, typing a lot of feedback, that's nice, but your spreadsheet's going to get really messy. If you have more stuff that's checkboxes, like, okay, if I could collaborate this and say, is there a correlation with student engagement if there's no blending learning observed and there may be a discovery teacher in the 8th grade? Is there some connection there? Because whenever you go to a spreadsheet, you have that option. You can go to view responses, and you can have all of them in a spreadsheet. But if you've ever used more stuff with a Google form, you can also see that the summary of it. And the summary, whenever you use multiple choices, it ends up looking more like a bar graph or a pie chart. So try to use multiple choice or checkboxes when you do a lot of your questions. And I had stuff about, you know, is blended learning observed? Is the objective written on here? So I don't know if I'll have this option. I didn't have it before. Okay. So here I have the objective written in an actual instruction match. In some forms, you can really take advantage of the advanced setting, or you can check this little box for multiple choice, say go to page based on answer. So if you hit yes, it's going to go to the next page. It's all fine and dandy. But if they don't have an objective written, I'm going to make them go to the page about maybe I would have this on blended learning. I could jump them to there. Probably a better question would be if they didn't have blended learning, jump down to that one. So blended learning observe, edit it, Okay, so here I have. If they hit yes, it's going to go to that page on blended learning. If they hit no, it would automatically go on to the next page. So getting into the advanced feature and go to another page, that's a great feature that you can incorporate into your forms. I don't really like these arbitrary categories. And I have questions on here, you know, about checkboxes. What do they see? Their teaching method. Is there a whole group instruction? And I try to break it down about various pages to go through, get their ideas. And then we have some anecdotal stuff at the time. And then they would fill it out and you would get it done. What I would recommend the administrators do is save this, if they have an iPad, save it as a desktop link, you know, where it could be like a clickable bookmark. Because you're going around from classroom to classroom, you want to get as many of these in as you can during the day before another major incident happens in your building. You want to get all these done. So I'm going to see if I can actually take the form now and what that looks like. So I'm going to go through the form. I'm going to try and make it as accurate as possible. I'm going to pick the principal's name, the administrator email, leave that as 4. Today objective was written. I was an art teacher, so I'm going to say you were making pottery. I'm going to put in my sister's email, which is a little bit different from mine. I would do it 6th grade. It was on target. I didn't have my agenda up. I was a discovery teacher. Objective written and teacher observed. So you want to make sure that you have boxes on here that ask for the teacher's name and the teacher's email, because they're going to get that personalized letter to them later on. So that was my first page of stuff. I'm going to continue it. And since I answered no on that agenda, I had it set up to go to this page for me. What was missing on? Now I can give that teacher more direct stuff. The teacher can say you didn't have it on the agenda, but why? What is it that you see as an AP that they are missing? So I can tell them on here, you know, there was no essential question. Now I can continue. Okay, so now I go on rest stuff. Blended learning, there was no blended learning. Maybe they were just using this tool. The teacher was talking. They weren't doing any differentiated, and you're teaching the whole class. Continue. There's that last page. They were just listening. There was no word wall. Kagan structure. My notes say no Kagan. It was a dysfunctional class. Okay, and I submit. Okay, so now that's going to run through. And now I have all my responses that have gone to the sheet. And before, we did this one running already, so and then the second one automatically did it. And that just went to my sister's email. And I hope she doesn't freak out, make it look like her principal evaluator. So, but that's the way I had it set up. So that once you hit submit, that teacher would automatically get that feedback. So you can go on the next classroom and move on. So I'm going to set it up. I want to change something on there. I need to change it from her email to my email. And back it up. Okay. That was the only thing I want to change. But I got everything else. The administrator's name, what I was doing, and all this other stuff. Okay. Now before the last session, we had it already set up to run Autocrat. We created a new merge job. And this is what we saw last time. The teacher would get this letter sent to them. It's a little personal feedback. I saw this in your agenda. I can make this say whatever we want. It came as a PDF. Yep. Yep. You can make it also a Google Doc. I find that formatting wise, it looks better as a PDF file.
I've already done a lot of this stuff, but I didn't have the merge knowledge.
The merge knowledge? Okay.
Forms.
Okay.
So could I bring in a Word doc into Google Forms and just use the Word doc I've already created?
I would just copy and paste each thing. So if you had your questions, have one window be the Microsoft Word, have your other window be Google Forms, and just copy and paste each question over. That'll probably be the best thing. Do you know how to do split screening in your computer? Yeah, that'd be like the best bet I would probably do. So now we want to make a new merge job, and maybe I want this merge job to have different info than my last one did. So I need to go back to my spreadsheet that I had up, and we're going to make a new merge job. And in order to do a new merge job, you have to have the add-on called Autocrat. So there's a big difference between add-ons in Sheets, add-ons in Google Docs, add-ons in Google Forms. Add-on that you might want to have in your Google form when you're teachers would be the add-on called Choice Eliminator. And I love Choice Eliminator because let's say you are doing this with other assistant principals in your building, and each one of you has to do 20 teachers by the end of the month. With the add-on, Google Form add-on called Choice Eliminator, you pick your question, and that question's going to be what teacher observed, and I check that one, and then I check the little box that says Eliminate Choices. And there should be a little save button, I believe. Okay. Right? Let's say so. Refresh. So now, when I do this form, and by the way, that has to be a multiple choice one that works best. Now it tells you up here, eliminate, they have to be multiple choice lists and check boxes. Another way you can do this, just to throw it out there, let's say you have parent-teacher night. I'm available for these 15 time slots for your conference. Pick the one. Once it's gone, it's off the list. Or we're doing a research project on superheroes. You got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and so on. Pick Batman, he's off the list. So Choice Eliminator is a great little tool. And now that you picked my sister's name, you would know you don't have to work on her for that one. And she probably won't be gone now, but maybe if I refresh this, I don't know, let's see if she's gone. For teacher name. I don't know if she's gone. Yeah, so she hasn't been gone yet. But her name would disappear since it already ran through. So that's a form add-on, but a Sheets add-on is going to be Autocrat. And Autocrat's going to make a mail merge for us. Has anyone ever done a mail merge before? Okay. Ladies who join us, have you ever used the mail merge before? Mail merge? Okay, so what this is going to do, this is going to pull info from my spreadsheet to my teacher. So I'm going to use the add-on called Autocrat. Now I'm going to launch it. And we're going to make a merge job from scratch. This is the one I made before, but I'm going to make a new merge job. Maybe I have a merge job that I want to give teachers feedback, but maybe I want to create a totally different one for my administrators to see some particular data that shows up. So I'm going to make a new one from scratch. Okay. Okay, so now it's looking in my Google Drive for any time I have merge tags. That's like those less than, double than brackets. And I've already made one of these up called the Google EDU feedback letter. And that's what this looks like. So anytime you put the little brackets around a keyword, it's going to know I need to pull that data off a column in the spreadsheet. And so my teachers are going to say, thanks, so-and-so, for letting me visit. Today I saw in your class and all this info. You can customize this however which way you want, but most importantly, you got to have these brackets in here. And you probably want to know how are these brackets, these merge tags, going to match up with your stuff later on? So if you have a column header called Kagan Strategies, make sure it's something very short and similar. I was working with Josh Shepard yesterday when he did this, and he was telling me if you have very long merge tags or a special character like a question mark sometimes or an exclamation point, it may not work. So try to keep it short and to the point. So I got that letter, and now I'm going to go to my merge job, and I'm going to pick this document. And that's going to be the customized letter that my teachers are going to receive as feedback. And now we're just going to match everything out. Where are the responses going to? Form responses 1 is where they go to. Match that up. And now we got to play connect the dots with the tags. The teacher name has to be teacher observed. And all these sheet headers, these are all my column headers here. So I got to make sure that everything matches up. Kagan observed, the agenda is displayed. The word blended goes to blended learning. Was teacher's email. These will only be listed if you did that less than, greater than bracket. So I saved, that's good to go. I did this last time, so I'm going to delete it so we can start over again. And this is going to be the file name. When I had that PDF file up before, if you looked at the top of it, it had a very unique file name. You want to make it kind of unique because as these go into your Google Drive, you're going to have a lot of them. It's going to be confusing. So I would recommend that you copy it down just like I have. So the file name is going to basically say administrator doing the walkthrough of the teacher name at a so-and-so time. And these little $ tags are going to pull the info right from the sheet and give it a very unique file name for me. So the administrator doing the walkthrough, I get that name. I'm just going to copy it up here. And then I paste in the file name. So Ms. Huddle was my administrator. So it would say administrator doing walkthrough for, and then I'm going to say the teacher's name. What is the tag that had my teacher's name on there? I scroll down on my list, and I'm going to find it. Let's see. I think it said teacher observed. Teacher observed. Copy that. Okay. And then that time. You know, you also want to see, is there any correlation between you doing the walkthrough at this teacher at first block as opposed to third period? You know what, maybe, or is it always the same? So I also want to get the time stamp into there. The time I did my walkthrough. Okay, copy that. So my file name should say Huddle doing walkthrough. I think I have my sister's name on here. Okay, Jolene Gorseski. So to say Huddle doing walkthrough for Jolene Gorseski at 10/22/12/15. That's what the file name is going to be called. And that I make the file type PDF. I think it just looks better, especially across devices if they open this on their iPad or they open on their computer. And now they're going to get that email. When they are done, they're going to get that immediate email. And since I changed my sister's email, that's what it comes down here. So again, all I'm doing is I'm copying that teacher's name right from my column. And what is the teacher Gmail? You can also have the teacher, the administrator doing it too if you want. Now I'm going to make this semicolon, see if I got that one. This is your subject of the email. And I had, say, the walkthrough. And I would start off, thanks for letting me come in today. Here are the results. And maybe I'll say, click on the PDF and then respond back to me what you thought. Okay? Some administrators are trying to have a nice discussion going back and forth. You know, here's your results. What did you think? What are your questions? What did you not get? And I'm giving them that merge file as a PDF, so it's attached to the email. And all the way in the bottom, a lot of people move this. There's a little advanced settings all the way on the bottom. And this is where you want to say, what's that trigger? If any of you know about the website, if that, then this, what is going to cause this mail merge to happen? And if you were here before, you saw once I hit submit, it automatically did it. So unfortunately, my sister got an email that made it look like her principal did a walkthrough for her, and she did a terrible job. So then I had to go back and edit it and fix it. So now it's going to come to me. So that was my trigger. That was the default one. And what folder do you want to do this to? Again, if you came in a little bit later, if you are the coach, if you are a technology teacher of some kind or instructional technology coach, you don't want to do this on your computer, because what's going to happen is the teachers are going to get the email that's going to say, Jay Gorseski gave you this. It's going to make it look like I did the walkthrough, and I don't want that up here. I'm also going to get all these files in my Google Drive. So instead what you want to do is have if you're the coach, show them this video and sit down with your AP and have the AP or maybe your curriculum coach design this, because this way it goes into their Google Drive, and it's also going to be appearing it's coming from an administrator as opposed to a technology person. So you pick your folder, where do you want to go to, and finally, very importantly, when do you want this to run? That's your last little check bar. I had it do it once they're submitted, it automatically runs, or maybe you want to do it a set time. Maybe at the end of the day, someone will get them. Or every couple days, or every Friday, they get them all shot. I think it's best if they get them right then and there. So it's run, and now I save it. Okay. So now I have the name of the document, and that's my merge job. And if I were to scroll all the way over to the side here, this is the one I ran earlier, and my sister's merge job ran. So if you just want to try this out, instead of running the whole merge again, I just want to try down this one teacher, I just deleted this whole row. And these little boxes get added after you add the add-on called Autocrat. So I'm going to make sure that's deleted, and now I want to run it. I want to make sure it's going to pull the data from these column headers into a personalized letter for my teacher. So all I have to do now is I'm going to run the merge. It's going to tell me it's running, it's analyzing all data. It's looking for any of these holes. All right, it's saying it's evaluated one of the data rows. Okay, one job merge, and see how all these boxes popped up now. So this will take me right to a link in my folder where I can get all those teachers' responses in one shot, or this is what the PDF file will look like that my teacher just got. So personalized letter, right to the point, direct feedback, and you can have a nice discussion going on this way. And that's really it. Autocrat's awesome. So again, Autocrat is a Google Sheets add-on. And this session I just did was live on YouTube. And it was a Google Hangout that we're now ending. So thank you all for participating. If you want, you can look me up on Google+. And I had that on Google Hangouts. There we go, on the Google Hangout. So if you missed this, you came in later, you saw like, oh, how can I run Autocrat so that I can give my teachers feedback? You can watch my video tutorial. I just did this whole thing, and it's going to be on YouTube. And probably once I edit it and add some stuff on there, you can look me up. So if you want to write me down, I post a lot of stuff on Google+. I'm also on Twitter, but you can just find me on Google+. If you follow the hashtag today for the SC EdTech 2015, I also put the link of this Google Hangout on there. I posted that, I think, like 11 o'clock or so today. So you can just find that as well. Or you can take a picture, sure. Okay. Are there any other questions? Good. Well, thank you all for coming, and let me know if you need any help. I would love to help you out with any of this stuff. Have a great day.
Now, if you were to do a test or an assignment forms for your class,
Yeah.
grade it with flu rules.
Okay.